My name is David Constantino Salazar. I'm a Toronto-based sculptor. My piece is a Chihuahua laying down on the ground, holding its head up high with a large Rococo Baroque hairstyle balancing on its head. The process that I undertook for making this piece was creating a small-scale Chihuahua in plasticine, understanding the way that I wanted to be projected to the viewer. And I wanted to have a tension between the delicate Chihuahua holding up this very ornate, enormous hairdo that resembles 18th century human wig. What I'm interested with this is I started contemplating the idea behind the human relationship to animals, in particular human relationship to our pets. It's very interesting to me, who grew up with a couple of dogs, and understand the value that these little creatures have as being part of one of our family members. But I started to question and really get inspired by understanding this relationship that we have with animals, particularly between having our home and what it is that we choose to have inside our home, and at the same time what it is that we choose to have outside our homes, what we don't allow to come into the home. This brought up questions that were related to what animals we allow to become part of our families, and how do we negotiate what animals it is that we consume, not for love, but also for human consumption, for food. How do we negotiate this as omnivores? And this is what inspired this work. I chose to work with a Chihuahua, which is a particular type of animal. It's very delicate, it's very small. They have come to have a status, a social status of a lapdog pet. And there's a whole history behind this. And I thought it was interesting to sort of work with this symbolism and at the same time mix it up and work with another symbolism of these large Baroque, elaborate hairdos that people used to wear that came out of Europe. And what does it mean when we merge these two images together within one? What is activated? This is the visual literacy that I'm interested in presenting to the viewer through sculpture form. In relation to alexithymia, my understanding that it is the inability to express one's own feelings. How it is that I interpreted alexithymia for this commissioned work was the inability for oneself to have an understanding, to express our understanding, our ontological understanding of who it is that we are as human beings. How is it that we see ourselves positioned in this earth in relationship to our home? What do we invite into our home? Are we a reflection of its owner, of its master? And through this relationship, I found that it's a way for us to understand who it is that we are, our feelings, to understand ourselves. We're trying to find a way how to make sense of who it is that we are as a human species, projecting ourselves onto an animal. We are human animals, but certain of us have the idea that we are possibly at a higher consciousness because we have a rationale. We're constantly trying to be above the animal instinct. We rationalize the world that we're in when we separate ourselves from the animal, but yet we are animal. So this is how it is that I started thinking about this, working with the symbolism of a Chihuahua. These hairdos, they are both ways in which that we express ourselves through status with the hairdos, what social class it is that you're in. It's a whole social structure. And this is how it is that I've been trying to rationalize alexithymia, trying to understand a feeling of who it is that we are. For the first time, this body of work and has a lot of exhibitions are going online as a result of COVID restrictions. How is it that the viewer is going to interact with sculpture? Sculpture is like a tree that is around here. It's 3D. It demands space. It demands your attention. It demands position in this world. Within my own practice, I enjoy that the viewer can walk around the work and they don't have a complete understanding of the full figure from one angle, but to walk around it to get a whole understanding of the body posture and the forms that they're being presented to. Although now I see the possibility, since the viewer is going to be interacting with the work through images, is that it becomes a theater. And we're able, the producers of the images that the viewer is going to come in contact with, we can give the perspective that we want. The process of making art, of sculpting, greatly influences my mental health. I feel positive through the process of sculpting. I'm in constant balancing, creating form in relationship to space. I feel like it's a jigsaw puzzle, and it calms me enormously. It's a challenge, it's difficult, but to be able to create images through material, through clay, is a way of expression. And I'm fortunate enough to have found this expression and also to share it with people, to be able to communicate with people.